Okay, well, look, let's check that. John Bolton's on the line. He's one of the organisers of the rally. He spoke there, and he is a spokesman for Reclaim Australia. John Bolton, good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me on.
Why were some of your people wearing masks?
Well, I was asked that question yesterday, and so I did ask some people. I've been to a number of Reclaim rallies, two in Adelaide and two in Canberra. And one of the reasons that people turned up to the Canberra rally, and I did ask them why they were wearing masks, was because they are employed by the public service there. And it was made clear to them that if they became involved in any political rally on behalf of Reclaim, that their employment would be in jeopardy.
What, they specifically targeted Reclaim?
That is a specific reason that some people gave me for wearing masks. Now, I don't wear a mask. I wear a three-piece suit and a tie when I go and address these rallies, and I never hide behind any anonymity. All my political pages and everything I blog, I just do openly and clearly. And as a result of that, I've been threatened with death. I've been told that I will be blown up, that I will be shot. I've been woken up in the night with a gunshot. I've found empty firearm cartridges in my driveway next morning. All of this has been reported to the police, of course. So that's another good reason for people maybe not wanting their identity revealed. Having said all that, it's pretty clear that some people who wear masks, who attend these rallies, are thugs, and they intend to commit thuggery, and they want to hide their identity to make it more difficult for the police to enforce the law. That much is obvious too.
Doesn't it concern you, though, that your organisation and others, with a similar view, are provoking this type of thuggery?
Well, I deny that that's the case.
Well, they're coming along to support you, and they're engaging in thuggery.
Well, Reclaim Australia changed the location of the Melbourne rally on advice of the law enforcement officers. It was intended to be on the steps of the Parliament House at Melbourne, but police advised that they were unable to ensure the safety of the ralliers, or the public, in fact. So we moved. Now, had we been allowed to be there by ourselves, there would have been no confrontation. We never go to the anti-freedom of speeches rallies and stir up trouble. They choose to come. Now, there's only one reason they choose to come and stand 50 metres away, is to be belligerent and antagonistic.
I agree, but some of your people seem to want that as well.
Well, I agree with you. It is clear that there is a fringe element, and one can see it on both sides. And any person who wanted to be at that rally yesterday and not to be involved, it was easy not to be involved. I wasn't anywhere near any of that. And a lot of people who were peaceful like me were nowhere near it. Okay. But there's clearly, in my view, antagonists on both sides. However, I would like to say that the first Adelaide rally, we had about 1,500 people turn up there. There was absolutely no violence, not even a scuffle. And yet mainstream media spliced in to the reporting of the Adelaide rally pictures of scuffles at other rallies, because that's the media image that they like to project. Had there been no violence at all there yesterday, there would have still been the projection of it. Unfortunately.
Maybe. We're told it's going to cost us about the taxpayer $250,000 for what happened yesterday. Do you think your group should pay some of that bill in the way that sports events or other groups pay to have police present?
I understand that's a fair comment. Had Reclaim been there by itself, there would be no need for a police presence. When one taps into the media of the anti-antis, you can see it's clear that they intend to come and shout down any real message. Now, the real message that I have is that anybody who wants to live by Australian civil and criminal law is entitled to be here. But there's a self-identifying group, and it's a small group that simply politic and actually make addresses to our own federal parliament that where there is a clash between Sharia and Australian civil law, Sharia should dominate. They go about clitorectomising children by grandma on the kitchen table here in Australia. They have 250 child marriages in 24 months.
Yeah, but that's not legal. That's not legal. There are pedophiles as well, but that's not legal. I mean, you're not suggesting that Australian law is circumvented by Sharia law, are you?
I'm not only suggesting it, I'm pointing out...
It's not. Australian law stands there. I mean, if somebody marries a 12-year-old, that's illegal.
Well,
and that's Australian law.
And there has been one prosecution in Australia, and yet it's recorded that 250 such marriages
By
have
whom?
occurred
Who's
in a
recorded?
24
Who's
month.
recorded that?
The Australian Women's Immigration and Legal Council.
And that's reliable on that sort of figure?
I beg your pardon?
Is it reliable on that sort of figure? How do you get that figure?
Well, these figures are reported by women's organisations that are working with these women, and they're well recorded and reported. And if you research, and rather than just disparage the figures that I'm producing, the
I'm
facts
not disparaging you, I'm questioning you. And I would get back to the point. Look, I'm sure pedophiles exist.
And I've provided you with a press release with the citations of these reports.
I get back to the point that Australian law does take precedence over this, doesn't it?
Well, there have been two major Islamic groups that have made submissions to us to own the Federal Senate inquiry into immigration and multiculturalism. The report was handed down in March 2013. They say that where the two clash, Sharia ought to take precedence.
But is it legal to marry a 12-year-old in Australia?
No, it is not.
End of argument. It is not Sharia law, it is Australian law.
But that doesn't stop people who prefer Sharia law to dominate Australian law from doing it.
Well, of course it doesn't, but in the same way that pedophiles act as pedophiles and armed robbers act as armed robbers. It doesn't mean that law is taking precedence.
No, you fail to distinguish that we have a law against armed robbery. Sharia law promotes marriage of 6-year-olds and 9-year-olds.
We have a law against that.
But Sharia law promotes it, and people are saying that Sharia law should dominate.
Okay, but it doesn't.
The single prosecution that we had, the father told his daughter that the Australian law is stupid. She should be getting married under Sharia law because that's what should dominate.
That's unacceptable.
Well, I agree with you, and that's my point. So you agree with me?
No, I don't. How do we calm this down? I mean, we don't want brawling in the streets. We don't want $250,000 bills for police.
Thank you for asking that question. 15 months ago, I organised the very first Australian rally with respect to Islam. I called it Calm Down Day. Now, this was before Martin's Place, before Charlie Hebdo, before Parramatta. I could see what was happening overseas, and I was quite cross that ordinary Australian citizens who have Muslim appearance, that is, women who wear headscarves and so forth, were being stopped and abused in the street. I opposed that. That was wrong. It was wrong then, and it's wrong now. So I contacted every Islamic organisation in South Australia, and mosques and so forth, and every politician, and I organised a rally called Calm Down Day. The only politician that turned up...
Yeah, but what are we going to do now? We've got brawls in the streets. Your organisation was there as well. What do you do now?
What we do now is we need to amend our laws to ensure that it doesn't get as bad as things have got in the United Kingdom.
What law do you want amended?
Well, for a start, I've drafted those laws and I sent them through to your radio station this morning before this program. So
what
for
laws do you want amended?
For you to ask me in ignorance about what I'm pursuing, it seems to me to be
you don't
deliberate.
What laws do you want amended?
I want the laws with respect to female genital mutilation to have the onus of proof reversed.
Okay, it's illegal. John Bolton, one of the organisers of the Melton Rally, he is a barrister in South Australia, which is the reason we're having, I guess in part, having that legal debate